This house is Mojang approved. Don't believe me? Think again, because I got the Minecraft Creative Handbook and right here on this page is this house. As well as 5 other houses that I tried my best to recreate and will show you right now. Starting off with the Steampunk House, that is the house of the thumbnail, and also the house that you saw the time-lapse of. And just a quick heads up, you just saw a replay mod time-lapse of this house being built by me. I wanted to do that for every single house, but I literally forgot to do it on every single other one. So yeah, I feel kind of stupid right now. The only reference that I have for creating these houses are the pictures in the book, and that made it quite difficult, but I do think that I did quite alright, as you can see with this one over here. In my opinion, this house over here, the Steampunk House, is one of the more prettier ones from these 6 houses. But that's, I think, personally just because this lies closer to the style that I tend to build. I also want to point out that it is very small, but you don't actually notice that from the outside. But I also did an interior on every single one of these, and here you will notice that it is in fact very small when we look inside. I tried my best to decorate the interior with all the space that I had, and it's tough. It's tough. I got a little bed over here, an armor stand, a crafting table, a bit of storage, some furnace over here, storage under the stairs, and then we got some blast furnaces over here with more storage, and again, more storage. I tried to go with like a survival house kind of feel over here. So let's list off some things that I like about this house. I like the color palette, I like the shape of the roof, kind of like the shape of the house itself, to be fair. I like the fact that this is a bit more special with the floating above the ground instead of just going all the way down, so that's really nice. One theme that I found in all of these 6 buildings that I'll showcase today is that Mojang also decided to give some attention to the surroundings of the house itself, which is something I really love. Steampunk often is a style which has a lot of little details, and that is something they did really well on this house as well. You got some signs, you got a little bit of popping out fences over here. You got some buttons, some trapdoors to act like window shutters, which I might have forgotten over here. This side you can't really see in the picture, but let's add them over here as well. I think this house has the least points that I would like to improve, and one thing that I would point out is I would try to make it just a little bit bigger. Based on the size, this looks like it should be like a starter house, but you also would have to collect the dark prismarine and also some white concrete over here, which isn't really all that starter friendly. I mean, the white concrete I can get quite easily, but the dark prismarine, you'll need to go to a underwater temple, and that is just a bit too tough, I think, for a starter house. Also, I could see this perfectly fitting in like a village transformation kind of project. In a situation like that, I would think this house is perfect. You can also just add in a little fence gate over here to kind of like trap villagers in this here area, because otherwise they just go off and kill themselves for some reason. Let's rate this house. In my opinion, from a builder's perspective, it could be a bit bigger, but there are a lot of things that Mojang did right on this one, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Let's continue to some different houses. I kind of just did the middle one, which is the steampunk one, but let's go from left to right on the others. Starting off with Ancient Egyptian. This over here isn't really a house, but it's more just a structure, and it kind of looks like a spa area. Let's get the picture from the book in front of it and then fade it away. I think I did a pretty good job on this one as well. In fact, I do think that I did a pretty good job on every single structure, if I say so myself. But sometimes it's kind of tough to see what's going on. One main theme with all of these buildings is that most likely the back side and this side, like the left-hand side of the building, aren't really visible on the picture, so I kind of just have to freehand those. But for this one, it worked out perfectly, because these like sections over here with the smooth sandstone, then the chiseled in the middle with the stairs like this, I could just copy around all the way. So I think that is probably what Mojang did over here, but either way, it looks pretty cool. Over here, once again, I quite like the fact that they did something to the outside. Instead of just having this square building over here, they extended a little bit forward, made these lines, which I'm not quite sure what they are, but they look kind of interesting. And they also made these little overhangy thingies. I think they're called trellises, but that might be just the one with the leaves in there. I'm not really sure, but anyway, it's like these little lounging areas on the side. And this one, once again, on itself may look a little odd. It's kind of like some sort of mirage. if you're in the desert for too long, dehydrated, you think like, oh, finally a safe haven with a little swimming pool in there. But like in a bigger desert city, this would work really well, I think. The things that I really like are the added colors with the orange from the acacia wood, as well as the little glazed terracotta. I did add some gold in there because I just couldn't really see what to put in the middle over here. Also, the oak floors, instead of just having it sand or sandstone or quartz, works really well on those lounge areas in my opinion. As well as these campfire details over here, I think they look interesting, but in the picture they are just the campfires itself, and they don't really have the smoke particles going up, so they can kind of distract from the building itself, which on this one isn't really that noticeable, but on a building that will feature later on, this will be like kind of distracting. And one thing that I don't particularly like is the usage of torches. This happened on a couple of the buildings where they use torches instead of stuff like lanterns or something like that. In general, I think torches just give that really starter survival base kind of vibe, you know? Because they put them on fence posts over here, it works pretty well, but in my opinion I would just place down some candles or some lanterns, or even more of these campfire bits if you didn't have smoke particles. Also, these lines, although they are interesting, I'm not really sure what they represent over here. I think they're kind of like walkways to get inside, but not really sure. And the picture didn't have a fence gate over here in the middle, which I don't mind, but I'm not sure if that's like a mistake or on purpose. But overall, I think kind of a great design. It can be quite tough to make a desert inspired building, but they did a really nice job on this one. Also, some kudos, this isn't just another house. This is something that is a bit more special, and something a lot of people, especially in survival, wouldn't really build on their own, I think. Just a little lounge area. All in all, a pretty good structure. On itself, I think I will have to give it a rating of a 7 out of 10, but in a city, this would definitely get something like an 8 out of 10, just to kind of subvert your eyes from all of the houses and other structures, and have something different in there. But because this is just the structure alone, it would get a 7 out of 10. Going on to the next house over here, the Wild West. And of course, with the Wild West theme, Mojang of course went with a saloon. And although the shapes of this structure are really quite basic, I think they really did a nice job on making it look interesting with the block palette, as well as just the choice of the little decorations over here. Personally, I wouldn't really go with jungle wood. I would probably just swap this out for oak myself. But it doesn't really distract too much. I just don't really like the near fleshy kind of pinkish color of the jungle wood. But that is once again just my opinion. Also, one thing I wanted to get out of the way immediately is this fence gate over here is in the picture, as you might be able to see right there. I honestly just think it is a mistake, so I'll just do that to... I think this is how it's supposed to be. So going over the things I like about this structure is first of all the unlit campfires on top of the roof over here. They give it a really ruggedy Wild West vibe, which is just really good for this structure itself. It also helps blend in the jungle wood with the more spruce and dark oak colors over there. And apart from them choosing the jungle wood over here, I do like that they went with 3 different types of wood on this building: jungle, dark oak and spruce. Personally, as I said, I would do oak, dark oak and spruce because I think those colors match a bit more nicely, but I do kind of like that they went with all wood for this building, which I think you should with a Wild West structure. Also, outside of the structure, the watering station over here for your horse I think is really nice with the hay bale next to it as well, and a few barrels as storage on the little patio over here. Probably for some booze, and I'm not sure why this is here. I think I had a window there before, but let's just get rid of that. That's not supposed to be. I also like this little piece up front, just the elevated structure over here, where it would probably say saloon in a real life scenario. But one thing I would change over here, although it stands out, I would honestly just replace the jungle over here with the dark oak to kind of get the structure in the same color, because I think that makes it look just a bit more natural. But that is not how Mojang intended it, so we'll keep it like this. And if I prefer that change, I should probably refer this one as well, odd as it may be. Also, just to point out, I went with the fence gate over here because that is what saloons most often have, but on the picture I couldn't actually see if they had a door or not. So this is my addition over here, but I would think that Mojang would do something like this as well. I also did a small interior over here, which is very simple. I used the tables, which are extended pistons, with some stairs on the sides of it to look like chairs. And this table design is actually something that is mentioned in the creative handbook, so therefore I wanted to use it. And then for some bar stools over here, I went with the upside down lightning rod with a pressure plate on top of it, because I just think they look cool. And a little bar area with some brewing stands over here to look like drinks or booze or any sort of alcohol that the Wild West people would drink. I also just realized that I forgot to do the little picture to kind of get the side-by-side comparison from the book. So this time I'll do it the other way around. This is the Minecraft version, and then let's switch to the book version. I think they are the same. I think on this one I did a pretty good job on recreating it. Now to give it a rating is quite difficult because, as I said, I don't really like the jungle wood, but I do like a lot of the other details that they went with. For me, this is also a structure that can be a standalone building. You can just come over here on your long journey with your horse, get your horse over here, leash it up to the fence over here, let it drink and eat a little bit, and then get some booze in your body. And I think overall I like this structure a bit more than the desert structure, so therefore I will give it a 7.5 out of 10. Let's move on to the woodland structure. So here it is in the book, and here is what I did in Minecraft. I would say once again I thought that I did a pretty good job on recreating it, but I just realized that I forgot a little block over here. Not really sure why that is there. I think it is supposed to be a chimney, so let's just extend it like so. And now it looks like a chimney, but that's kind of weird because I thought this was the chimney. Doesn't really matter, there should be a little bit of cobblestone over there. Now we got it. So straight off the bat, I think I could just come out and say it. In my opinion, this is the least pretty looking structure of the bunch. It's not to say that I think it is ugly, but it just lacks a bit of love in my opinion. But before I tell you why, let me go over the things that I do like. First of all, this kind of like patio-ish walkway thingy is something I like, with the trapdoors in the front of it. I think it adds quite a lot to especially such a small building like this one. Also, one thing I really like is on the roof over here, instead of just going with a straight line all the way to the end, they kind of broke it off over here to, I think, make it look like nature is kind of taking over this building. Like looking at the moss and stuff, I think the feeling that they wanted to go with is this house is kind of getting overrun by nature because it has been here for so long. That is the one thing I think they did really, really right. But one thing I do kind of dislike about this building is something that I did do on the Steampunk House, and that is just simply having some stairs over here, making this a bit thicker, getting the stairs all the way down here as well. That just makes it look 10 times better in my opinion. But instead they just went for this more rickety sort of roof, for a lack of better words. And it is especially this roof design over here that makes me feel this way about this house, like it is the worst looking one. Because this to me always kind of screams the feeling of, this person is just starting out building some stuff. You can see that the foundation is there. This person that built this is going to become better at building. But just little tricks like that are most often the stuff that kind of sets the builder apart from the amateur builder, for a lack of better words. Once again, just want to clarify that the building doesn't look bad, but it could look better. As well as the two torches over here on the outside next to the door. This also, I would say, is supposed to be a starter house, especially using the materials like this. But just do something like this, for example. If you want to use them, I think this looks a bit better. Anyways, I did a small interior over here as well. Kind of similar to the steampunk one, all starter materials. Maybe this is your first pickaxe, you hung it over the bed over here. Got your leather armor because you're just starting out. Little plant over here, bunch of storage up there as well. And then some ferni, some smokers and some blast ferni. And the crafting table in the floor over here. Overall, I would say pretty much enough space for a starter house, but nothing more than that. So with this one, once again, I do really like that it's incorporated into the nature itself. It is literally inside of the hill. Parts are overgrown, there is a bunch of potsoil and coarse dirt for a path to kind of make it look trampled. So still a passing grade, but this one for me is a 6 out of 10. And then the last one of these command blocks over here, the industrial one. I think the angle is somewhat like this in the game, so this is of course the picture in the book. And then let's fade it to the game itself. Once again, I think I recreated it pretty nicely, but there were some bits I literally could not do. For example, this part over here with the iron bars. If I take you back to the picture itself, this has clearly been done with World Edit, so that's not something that is really possible inside of Creative or Survival for that matter. But the rest of it, definitely possible. This one is the industrial building, and that is exactly what it looks like in my opinion. You got those big generator kind of bits, pipes going inside of the building over here, which is just nice to see on an industrial building. I think that adds a lot. So the block use, the brick, and then just all of the grays over here, they really scream an industrial building over here. So that is something that they once again did really well. The themes of these builds are on point. And for the decoration, I think that is also a plus in this building over here. They just used a lot of brick and the gray, and then didn't really go overboard with a bunch of other stuff. They just went with some stairs over here to get some, hello bee, to get some odd designs inside of the walls over here, as well as some windows. And then this wall, once again, I couldn't really see, as well as the back over here, but I kind of just replicated what I did on the other side. But then, like this design over here, I just kind of raised it a little bit over here and just kind of mimicked the bottom, because I think that is something that Mojang would do. Not really sure though, but I think it is. Also kind of like the outside over here, I would make it just a little less beaten up over here. And I don't really know what the water is supposed to be, but it does look interesting. Also, one more thing, I can just see like 1 pixel of the iron door over here in the picture, but there is no like button or pressure plate to actually open it. So I added that one over here to go inside. Let me show you the interior that I did first, and then we'll go over what I liked and disliked about this building. So because this is an industrial building, I thought let's make some sort of like factory. So this is something I also did in another video with like all of the different building decorations. But this is a bamboo stripping factory, I think. We got the bamboo over here stored. It's being held in place by these signs, making it look like it's tied down. And then over here they go on a little trajectory. So over here they go just this way, get turned around, then they get stripped in this mechanism over here. Go over the saw over there and then come out in different pieces. I think that fits in pretty well over here. No need to go overboard on the inside. And then personally, I would make this a bit less beat up and get like some sort of truck in front of here. So besides the floor, let's go over some other things that I didn't particularly like about this building. So I do quite like the shape over here with the slabs going up. It makes kind of a subtle elevation like so. But what I don't like about that is the fact that you can't really place the bricks over here, because otherwise they would pop out on this side. It's kind of the only nitpicky side, as well as the decoration over here. I don't really know what this is supposed to be, as well as the little bits up top over here. But that's just on the roof, so I don't really mind that too much. And what I do like is the little roof lighting in the form of like roof windows over here. That is something that I can respect. There's really that much more to be said about this building. I think in terms of rating, for me, it's kind of in the same range as the Wild West build. So this one also gets a 7.5 out of 10. And those were all of the command blocks over here. But there's one more in the net, and that is the Infernal theme, as Mojang calls it themselves. As for a side-by-side comparison, this is the best I can do for now. This is the picture in the book, and you will see what I mean right now. This is it in Minecraft, but I had to go in Spectator for a little bit because I actually have a big structure over there. This is the Infernal theme tower that Mojang cooked up. And actually, now that I think of it, I got the random tick speed increased for some other buildings, so this has overgrown a little bit. Let me fix that really quickly. Okay, I believe the weeping vines are supposed to be this length. So this is the building I talked about with the campfires that just creates a bit too much smoke, but because this one is in the nether, it kind of gets a pass from me because everything is on fire over here, as you can see down there. This one was quite difficult to recreate because, as you can see, the picture from the book is really dark because of all of the blackstone. And in-game it looks a bit lighter, but I still do think that I recreated it correctly. So with this one, because it is the Infernal theme, there is a lot of dark colors. I mean, the only colors in here are kind of the bright red from the Weeping Vines and also the light blue from the Soulfires, as well as just a tiny little bit of gold from the Gilded Blackstone. But that is something I really like about this building. Once again, I would say that the vibes are immaculate. For this setting, that is. I wouldn't really go with this vibe anywhere else. Let's go on the quote-unquote interior over here. Because this is in the nether, I thought why not get a lot of gold armor as well as some netherite with some golden decorations on the side. And then some smithing tables in the back over here to kind of match the color. And then it's just one big ladder up to the plateau over here, which you just can stand up on and look over the nether. And you can actually parkour over here as well, to kind of get up over here, I guess. Which isn't really the best way of transportation, but it can be done. So with this one, just a few things that I don't really like about it is once again, the usage over here of the torches. You could as well just turn this into the soul lanterns, place those on top of the walls as well. And in my opinion, that would look just a little bit better. And the other thing I already went over, the usage of the soul campfires. I would just go with maybe a little less. Maybe remove these ones over here and get some lanterns over there as well. Or maybe just some more of the gilded blackstone or something like that. What I do really like, once again, the surrounding parts over here with the really bright magma blocks and the lava. And then I also quite like the fact that I just really went with an all black theme. Polished basalt over here is kind of the brightest block of the bunch, apart from the lodestone over here. but they also like covered those up with a bunch of buttons, except in the parts in the middle over here. All in all, I think this is kind of a perfect building for in the Nether, and because of that, I will give this building an 8 out of 10. So just to recap, let's go over all of the Mojang Approved Buildings once more, with my rating over here. The Steampunk theme, 9 out of 10. The Infernal theme, 8 out of 10. The Industrial theme, 7.5 out of 10. The Wild West theme, also a 7.5 out of 10. The Ancient Egyptian theme, a 7 out of 10. And finally the Woodland theme with a 6 out of 10. So that is all for this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which house was your favorite out of these 6 houses. And let me know if you want to see more like this in the future. If you like this video, make sure to like it as well. Hello there. What I was saying before, I was wildly interrupted by these two. Look at them standing behind me, oh my god. I was getting interrupted in Minecraft, so I'll just do it like this. What I wanted to say is leave a like if you like this video. Let me know if you want to see more in the comments below. And please subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. By the way, YouTube thinks that you'll like this video over here, so want to give it a whirl and see if it's something for you. Bye bye.